Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of Money, Life and Gags with Harry and Mark. How are you, Harry?
Mark, I'm doing very well. How are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. I'm back from Bali and recovered from all my stupid injuries and raring to go.
Okay, all right. It's funny because when I usually get back from holidays, I suffer from jet lag. Have you had any of that?
No, we flew back within the time zone, so we left at about midday Bali time, and we got back about 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. Melbourne time. And so
All normally.
got back and we just went to bed, and it was as per normal, so no one suffered from jet lag.
Can you sleep on the aeroplane?
We tried it last year because we went with the 10 p.m. flight coming home.
Yeah.
So you're flying in the middle of the night and you arrive here like 7 a.m. That was horrible. Like, no, I can't sleep on planes. So we said, nah, you come back, you're exhausted. You just got to go to bed when you get home. So that's not much fun. So no, this time around, we just left in normal time zones and it's worked out really well. And everyone's just rolling forward. Kids start school now. So off you go.
Off you go. Wonderful. Geez, I was clearing out my storeroom last night, and it's a store. Yeah, and I've got a storeroom downstairs, and look,
What dark secrets you got in there, mate?
yeah, exactly. Look, I'm not a hoarder, but sometimes it's a little storeroom, that's usually where I've got all my travel bags. And the storeroom's it's just getting a little bit too messy now, and things are everywhere. So I started throwing things out. And funnily enough, I came across one of my diaries, a 1991 diary.
Do you keep a diary? I didn't even know you kept a diary.
Well, you know what I did. I kept all my diaries because what I used to do, funnily enough, this is when the internet wasn't around. Um, I used to it used to infuriate me when I used to start my week and look at my diary and it was all blank. What I put in was still.
That would that do.
Look, I've got to tell you, when you're starting off in life, you want to get going, but if you don't know what to do, then it's blank. I mean, everything's just.
Oh, the first day, the whole day is called hustle
Did you do that from day dot?
from day dot. If there's no appointments, it's hustle time, and you got to go hustle, go create shit.
Yeah, look, that took me, Mark. It's funny if you go back through my diaries. That took me 6 years to learn that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it took me from a young man. See, I got involved in the financial service industry from a young man. I mean, I don't want to use the excuse because I was young, because I think that's just crap.
That's balance these things, like when you're young, you're half partying, half career orientated. It's only when you get to our age that the partying, like you're too old, you got to go to bed by now.
No, well, yeah. I mean, you want to be involved in something where everything comes to your doorstep. I mean, that's what everyone wants. You want everything to come to your doorstep. In the financial services industry, I had to go and get clients. There's no magic to it. What I preferred is to go to my office on Monday, and there was a line of 50 people waiting outside to see.
Didn't have a, It's Nirvana, but I think you have to build up to that one.
Yeah, that didn't happen, and it was quite strange looking at my diary. I was still like a young man. I wanted to quit.
Really?
Because
We're having those thoughts.
I think you get started, you're full of enthusiasm for about 3 to 4 weeks. You realize you're doing nothing. Your diary is blank. You're doing the fantasy la la land. Oh, don't worry, tomorrow it'll be right because there'll be 164 people waiting outside your office. You get there late. No one's waiting for you. The phones are ringing. Your door is closed because you're too embarrassed because everyone's just busy doing stuff and I was doing nothing.
Right.
No,
Bit humbling, isn't it?
yeah, no, it is. It is. And look, I think a lot of people go through this, whether they're young or middle aged or they're at the end of their career. Nothing's going to happen if you don't make it happen. So my change came. We had then called managers looking after us, even though we were self-employed. We had managers, and I was
Under
extremely.
license or something, was it? Is that
Yeah. So I was extremely fortunate. I the bloke that was looking after us was a guy by the name of Robin Durbany. I'm not too sure if you know the name,
No.
Robin Durbany. He was very successful in the financial services industry, was a public speaker, went out and spoke to AFL clubs, managed sports people, people from the Olympic Games, all that sort of stuff. His policy was that his door was always open. That was his policy. Prior from me going to his doorstep, I just wanted to quit. I really wanted to quit. And
How far into your starting was that thought process for you? Is that weeks or months? Or what was the timeline there?
Mark, this was my third year.
Oh, so you'd given it a decent crack, and it wasn't like just flippant.
Yeah, and it was I've been talked to many times within that 3-year period, like, lift your game because you're at the door. So it's not as if I haven't been talked to, but, I was just in awe of people around me because usually when you're involved in an industry, you really look up to people who are actually doing it. Yeah, they're coming into the offices with the fancy cars, the nice suits, the tie, all that sort of stuff. Um, I don't know. I mean, they were just busy and I couldn't work out how in the hell were they doing it. So I used to use the excuse that, "Oh, it's because I'm young." But then that excuse was taken away from me because there was a young girl in my office. I think she was maybe a year or 2 years older than me, and she was killing it.
Right.
And I used yeah, she was just killing it, and I used the excuse, "Oh, look, I know why she's killing it because her parents are wealthy, and her parents is just feeding her with all the referrals." Well, that's bullshit. That's just an excuse to make me happy. You know,
Yeah.
if not,
You were justifying your lack of performance by doing what other people do it,
I
you
couldn't
know?
so I couldn't work out, like, what is it that these people do, to become successful? Technically, my knowledge was actually quite okay because it had to be. I was doing nothing in the office but looking at a bloody, computer, and trying to work out how things work. So I didn't need, anyone to tell me how things work. I mean, I was pretty good at my stuff. So, going to Robin Daubany's, office, and he knew. He knew I just had enough, and, I sat down thinking very much that he was gonna close his door. He didn't. He had that American, I mean, he was an Aussie guy, but he had that American style of, managing, and that is his door was always open, and I was too embarrassed, or I didn't want people to hear, what was gonna come out of my mouth. So I actually got up and closed the door, and, he said, "No, don't close the door." So that was embarrassing because I didn't know who was mucking around on the outside listening to the conversation. In a nutshell, he knew exactly what I was going through, and he only gave me one instruction. He said to me, "Just do 10 appointments per week." And I was trying to tell him, "Mate, I can't get to 2. How am I gonna get to 10?" And then he said to me, "Make 10 calls per day." Now, the reality is, when he forced me to, answer him how many calls I was making per day, it was between 0 and 1.
So it's a bit hard to get any appointments if you're not making the calls, right?
Spot on, because I thought 50 people were gonna wait outside of my office every single day. My journey got started, and, was I making 10 calls per day? No, no. Was I doing about 4 to 5? Yep, yep. Was I
What
doing
stopped
10?
you going to 10, based on his advice? What stopped you?
I was just giving up because of, rejection.
Right.
I mean,
And these were just cold calling, right? They weren't Gigish and Lee, something like that.
Mark, we're talking the early 90s now, right?
Well, it's different world.
Uh,
Yeah, different.
yeah, in the early 90s. In fact, it was, yeah, so the early 90s, it was just cold calling. And, however, I used to do between 2 and 3 appointments per week. So my results were a little bit better, not a lot better, but far better than the previous 12 months.